A lot of the time, video games are subject to the whims of the overarching patterns of the market. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on Game Ranks, 5 video game trends nobody asked for. Number 5, brand new games having 2 release dates. Now that might sound kind of weird, but you know how some games have a lot to keep track of in how you order it? Well, some special editions may cost $10 or $20 or $30 or however many dollars more to get the game maybe a day or 2 early. It's certainly not an official release date. It's not something listed on Wikipedia as when the game came out, but did you know that anybody who ordered one of the versions of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, for instance, that came in above the 100 mark, got the game 3 days early? I mean, that's not a mark against the game in any way. It's kind of just odd. You start seeing footage on YouTube of the game, even though by all accounts there shouldn't be, and you're like, how is that person playing the game? They shouldn't be playing the game. I should be playing the game. I bought the game, and it turns out you bought the game for the price of the game. That was your first mistake. Number 4, the massive day 1 patch. And I'm not talking like a patch that does some certain things, like I'm talking about the Black Ops 4 50 gigabyte patch that's pretty much the damn game being downloaded a second time. You know what? Like, I get it. I understand why we have day 1 patches. We have the internet. There is a release schedule that is oftentimes affected by the physical printing of media. Yes, that stuff exists, and I understand that they have work that they've done since the printing. And also, having a digital copy of a game that just works the first day, it's fine. It doesn't make me upset. It's just, if you're making me basically download the game a second time to patch the game, just like you're doing something wrong during the process of production. If it's that big of a patch, I'm very concerned about the game itself. Production schedules and digital games make patches a thing, a necessity even. Maybe not even a necessary evil. I know that term's thrown around a lot, but I would of course rather have the best version of the game on the first day the game is released. Of course. Still, 50 gigabytes? Are you serious? Number 3, the focus on always online, even if it's a single player game. And I think we all know exactly what this stems from. It's the whole DRM thing. And while there has been enough backlash that there has been maybe a little bit of backpedaling in this area, it hasn't been enough. If I turn on a single player game and it's like, you're not online, you need to be online, I'm like, hey, well, guess what I don't want to play ever again? Because sometimes, in fact all the time, I don't want a game that has nothing to do with the internet to connect to the internet. You don't need to be always online to give me cloud saving. You don't need to be constantly checking the state of my game to make sure I'm not doing something you don't like with the game that is existing on my own hard drive and isn't an online game that affects other people's experiences. So why does it need to be online? It doesn't. That's the answer. It doesn't. The end. Number 2, loot boxes. Oh, do I need to explain why loot boxes are bad? Well, for one, they're literally gambling. They're actually gambling. You're gambling either with free chances because you played the game, meaning you have a chance to get something for playing the game for a long period of time. That period of time usually made longer to incentivize the second way you could gamble, which is by putting money in the game and skipping all of the extra play that was put there literally to make you want to skip that extra play. No, it's literally like a coercive means of getting people to put money into the damn game so they can gamble towards getting a virtual thing that isn't a real thing, that in some cases is literally entirely cosmetic, and that's, for whatever reason, a good thing. But a lot of the time it's also tied to mechanics that allow you to progress in the game easier. Yay! And it's clearly a thing that companies like so much, they're willing to break laws that are being made in other countries to prevent them from doing this very thing that they're already doing. EA is like, yeah, we're gonna keep doing it in those countries that they make a law against it, you know, just cuz. Ugh, I hate loot boxes so much. I could talk about loot boxes forever. I hate them. And number 1, removing single player from games that had single player since forever in order to make them into a multiplayer game only. I would have called number 2, the loot box thing, the worst thing in games if it weren't for this. The fact that there is a trend brewing where they take single player out of games that frankly I buy because they're single player and then don't play the multiplayer part because I don't care about the multiplayer part. And then they try to tell us that people aren't interested in the single player part because people still want to play the damn game because it's the next one of a game they like. And so they're like, oh, well, look at the performance stats. There's people playing. No shit, there's people playing it. It's Black Ops 4. I liked Black Ops 3's single player though, and I'm not going to spend any time with Black Ops 4 that I don't have to because I can't do it in a single player manner. Look at God of War. People want single player games. We've talked about it on this channel before. To pretend that the demand justifies taking the single player elements out of games and just wholesale making platforms for microtransactions demonstrates that it's really not about what people want. It's what these companies want us to want. A quick bonus point for you on that note. When they release the Game of the Year edition on a disc and don't include all of the DLC, I mean, it's usually like not a new game by that point. Also, for the most part, the people who were gonna buy the DLC have now bought it. Why not kind of make the Game of the Year a thank you to the fans who made it the Game of the Year somewhere by bringing the amount of attention to it that they did. But it's not really about what the fans want ever, is it? That's kind of what I was getting at, it's all. That's where these trends that nobody asked for come from. They decide that they want people to want them, so they do them until it seems normal.